This video shows you how to create a three-dimensional landscape out of a two-dimensional topology, and obviously this topology could be also something like a pattern. And I just go into customize, and I just see that in my wide units, centimeters, especially important system unit scales, also centimeters. And I just create a plane for my room, and I just say in keyboard entry, my room should have a length of 10 by 10 meters. 10 by 10 meters means 1000 by 1000 centimeters. I just go into create, here we go, I just go in G, grid, switch off my grid, and we can already see that it already has a topology, but it's orthogonal, so I don't want this actually. I just go into this simple geometry, and next step I go into modify, and I want to create my own topology. So what I have to do is I just have to add an edit poly modifier on top. I just right mouse click, rename my modifier edit poly, and I just call it topology. So I just remember what I did actually. And there are different ways of creating this topology. I can just go into this mode edit geometry, and I can use the cut function and the quick slice function. And important, I just use my snap toggle 2.5D and right mouse click. I just choose vertex, and depends on, I can also use edge, so it snaps the edges and my points, but I'll just leave it like this. So two differences: if I use quick slice, I just draw a line like this, and it just slices the whole surface. I can just do a small thing, and you can already see that there's a full line through my plane. I always have to deselect, very important, with right mouse click my function, or I just have to deselect it with this button here. I can also use the cut function. If I use the cut function, I can snap vertex points, something like this, and I just go to my edge, and right mouse click I stop, otherwise I continue cutting. Right mouse click I stop, and so I can define areas a little bit like this. Right mouse click I stopped it, and you can see that I just follow, and right mouse click stop. And I think this snap function only with vertex makes sense. So that's a way of how to create a basic topology, and like I already said, it could be also a pattern. Okay, right mouse click, and I leave my cut function. I just add another edit poly on top, and I also call it rename edit poly topology alternative 2. And I switch off my other edit poly, and I can tessellate my surface. It's more or less also a way of finding a new topology. I just go into my modifier list, and I choose the modifier tessellate like this, and I can choose between these quads and the triangles. I can extend my iterations. Tension I want to have 0, and just 0 like this. And also here there are different kind of levels I can go for, but that's probably actually not what we want. I just go into edge again, and I increase my iterations. I just put my tessellation underneath my topology, so that my edit poly topology builds on my tessellation. So what I can do, I can use my graphite modeling tools. I go into my edit poly, I go onto the hierarchy edit poly and select all my polygons. Okay, and if I go into polygon modeling, I can also use this toggle and just switch it on, that I have my full menu. I can go into polygons and choose generate topology, and what we see right now here are different kind of topologies. I can just also choose something like this, and let's see. Here we can see that there are already some patterns, prepared patterns, and just go back, I can just choose this one, I can also combine them, and this is definitely also a way of finding a topology. And either way, what you have to end up is the base where you can give this the next step to make a 3D landscape out of this. Okay, I just decide for my first topology, so I just switch this off, or better even put this into the bin if I'm sure about that I don't want to use it anymore. And my first topology I switch on again, and here I again go into my cut and just add more elements, and somehow like this, so I have something to work with actually. I think this is already fine. If you want to delete one of these edges, you just go into edit topology, you just select edge, and you can first you have to leave the cut function actually, right mouse click in your U code, or left mouse click on your function, and then you can select edges. And you can obviously also delete edges. For example, if I take this one, if I press the delete button, then you have a hole. I don't want to do this. So if you choose the backspace button, then you can delete it. I say string Z again, or you just go into remove, and that's the same thing. With this, you can just delete your topology. Okay, let's make a 3D surface out of this. I just add another edit poly on top. And here I just use something like my animate function, so I'm able to change my parameters later on. I just go into polygon and just choose this one, and probably this one. And I just go into maximum viewport toggle, so I can also see this in perspective. I'll just go on zoom extend all, so we can see this. And here, right mouse click, I just press on P, perspective, and turn it a little bit so I can see this better in 3D. And what I do is, I'm just in my animate mode, and I just go into bevel. Bevel is more or less like extrude plus that you can extend and decrease and increase the top surface. I can just extrude this, and you can see what's happening. If I bevel this, it looks like this, that you can bevel the whole surface, and you can choose between by the whole group, or you can also probably just say by polygon, and then you see that there are more or less separated, so every polygon extrudes in its own direction. They're not together anymore. In this case, I just want to go into group and look on this a little bit, so my geometry is not collapsing, and I think this already looks quite good. Okay, so I just rename this and just say edit poly, and this is my shape 1. Okay, I add another edit poly on top, and here again I go into my polygon level. I choose animate, and I take this one, and I probably take this one. And here again I go into extrude, and I extrude them much further, probably like 2 meters. And oh, I didn't want to extrude it, I just wanted to use bevel. So again I go into bevel and just enter 200 centimeters. Okay, and I use this one and I bevel this a little bit, somehow like this. That's fine. And this is my edit poly shape 2. For the landscape, there are probably very few other functions interesting, so I just go and say edit poly, right mouse click EP, shape 3. So I just choose another surface. Let's see, I just choose just choose this one, and I go into my edit poly and I select this, and I use again my animate mode, and here there's something like hinge from edge. That's already quite complex. What you can do is you can select one of the edges, for example like this one, and then you can turn it. You can just hinge it out really like an angle, so you can see what's happening. By the way, I think this is not the most successful position. I just want to, for example, go to this edge, and then you can see that it's just changing, so you can bevel this in different kind of direction, and I think this is probably not bad. Okay, so I have a little bit of a hinge inside a slope which I produce. Okay, I put another edit poly on top, and after I did this, we just see what we already achieved. What we can do is we can just go into our edit polys again and just close them so they're a little bit more like all together. I just go into shape, and this warning is fine. I'm absolutely aware of this. I don't change the topology, but I can go into the settings. And if I go into the settings, you can see that I can still change it, and I still have full control of my extrude and my my bevel, and I can do with this or with this, and I always close it with OK. I never leave it like cancel, because then the function is gone. And it's also like this. If I go into my hierarchy again and my polygons, I have to switch off show end result toggle off so we can see what's happening. If I just choose any other surface, that's a big danger. Then it just swaps, because it's just recording what I did over the animate. And if I just change any other polygon, then this is not a good idea, because then all my functions are gone. Okay, I went back, and this is a little bit of a danger with this animate mode, but for this I also still have full control, so I can go in all of this, and here, for example, this was my hinge, and with my shape, and this was a little one here, and also this I think I can completely control. Okay, let's think about another hierarchy. I have my edit poly, and this edit poly I put on shape 1, and shape 1 is actually this one. So let's see, if I just select this polygon, for example, and I go into show end result toggle off, otherwise I don't see everything, I can do an insert. I just go into insert, and also here, if you want to record it, just go into animate, so you can change it afterwards. I can just produce an insert like this. And I can put another edit poly on top, another edit poly on top. I just thought about, I don't do this with animate now, because I want to shortcut this a little bit, otherwise the list is just too long. I just go into model and just do everything in one go now. I just go into bevel, and I just extrude it to the inside, somewhere like this, and I just go a little bit smaller, so I have a little bit of a shape. And obviously, if I go into my top view, this is my top view. I can also choose the hierarchy, my vertex hierarchy, and my snap function I just switch off, otherwise I can't do it properly. But you can see that I can define the areas. I can really also make it asymmetric, and I just say right mouse click, edit poly, shape 1, insert. And here, by the way, it would have been good if I just say edit poly, right mouse click, shape, extrude. So so that at the end of the day you should be still under full control with your geometry. Okay, let's have a look at this again. I go into PV perspective and just go show end result toggle on. And here we go. So this is already what we achieved, and you can continue with these kind of things. And I think with the functions, I just put this on with shape 3. It's a little bit like Photoshop. You can combine it. You can do a lot with extrude. You can do a lot with bevel. Insert is really handy, and hinge from edge makes it is another nice feature. Also here again, I just choose one edge, for example, like this one, and I go into my hinge, and what it does, it just bends it out in the way I want to, and I can also make it roundish, which is not really really interesting. If you really want to make something round, you can do the following. You just put a chamfer on it, and you just don't say chamfer from select. You just go into selected edges, and underneath you just select some edges, for example like this one, and for example this one, and then in chamfer you can just say I want to have a standard corner, and you increase the amount somewhere like this, and then also the segments. And this is a way of how you produce round corners if you really want to do this. Okay, I switch this off again, and let's continue. I just delete my chamfer. I just rename my edit poly and also name it edit poly topology 3D. And what I do right now here, I can just change a little bit the topology. Probably again, I just go into my hinge function, and I just hinge it in the negative way, a little bit like this. Or you can also make an insert here. You just do it like this, and on top extrude it. So you have a little bit of a small sandbit here, something like this. So there are a lot of options. Okay, let's see how we can build this with our laser cutter. I just extruded one more surface, this middle one, to make it a little bit more interesting. I can also delete this. I can also delete these corner polygons. I just go into window crossing, and I just select them, and I just delete it like this. So this is the form I actually want to build with my laser cutter. And for this I use my tool Para3D, which has to be installed on your computer. I go into create parametric array, and I only say assign controller. Para3D is opening. Okay, I scroll out a little bit, and this is my para node of my plane objects. I go into the plus symbol and say para disassemble. Okay, and my para disassemble node I just connect to my para landscape node, which I did right now. I just select my para disassemble, and the first thing is for my laser cutter I don't need a thickness, so I just switch off thickness. And it is like this, that everywhere where there is, and I just go into my F3 wireframe mode, and plus, no, I just choose F3 shaded, and F4 I want to see my edges. There are some surfaces which are more or less on the same line, for example like these two. Just choose it again, and I'm talking about, for example, like this and this surface, and there's a line in between. I want to have one surface. I want to have them connected. And there's one really nice feature. I can go into merge all polygons, and every surface which has a smaller angle than 1 centimeter will be merged together. And with this knowledge, I don't have to do much anymore. I can just go into disassemble now. Here we go, and not much to see, but if I just go into select para members, we already did our disassemble. I can just move it a little bit here like this, and I can select my surfaces, and these are my surfaces. Okay, but how can I build this, and how can I build this in a way that I don't lose control? We just label it. So what I do, I just go into create shape, and I go into text and just enter a number 1, and this number 1 I just draw into my top view. Here we go. And it's a little bit too big. I don't want to have it as big like this. I just want to have a small number. 10 centimeters looks fine. By the way, I have to scale it at the end of the day. So let's go into 40 centimeters. Let's see what this does related to the surface. I think this looks really good. And then I can choose pick a text, and I just pick this text. Okay. Okay, I disassemble it again. I go into disassemble now. I just recalculating. Oh, we can just see that the numbers are much too big. This was definitely not a good idea. Just go again and just take the text, and I just say it should be 5 centimeters. I go again into text and choose this right now and go into disassemble again. And this already looks much better. And you can see, if I go into my setting, that these numbers are connected. 42 is connected with 42, and here it's like 91 to 91. So you have a good chance to be able to assemble this. If it's too close to the corners, which it looks a little bit like this because of my scale, just enter like 5 centimeters, and I go again into disassemble. And this already looks much better. There's a bigger distance to my edges. Okay, I go again F3 and shade it. And the only thing is now I just have to pack it into a surface that I can send it to my laser cutter. This is something we do with transform. I just drag and drop a new controller to transform. I just enter PAC like packing controller, double click, and I choose my rectangle packing, and it's still like this. It's a huge surface, and our laser cutter is definitely much smaller in terms of dimensions. So I define a packing area, just say a width of 8,000 centimeters, and I know at the end of the day I scale it, and like 4,500. So this is the dimension in 1 to 1, and a gap between each is probably like 10 centimeters. We'll see what's happening right now. I'll just go into update, and here we go. Here are my surfaces packed together that I can just export them to our laser cutter. I can see 2 packing areas. This is line number 1, this is line number 2, and my basic object I move a little bit to the side, and I think the decision to have it 8,000 was not excellent. I just go into 800 and just say 415, and I just go into again into update, and this feels much better. So I have package 1, 2 and 3, and we can still optimize it and just use different kind of packing methods. And here we go. We just see which one is best. And with this launch, I probably also increase a little bit the distance, so I can see my areas slightly better, probably even more. Okay, so I have five areas. Let's see if there's any packing slightly better. Oh, it doesn't look good, so I think the last one feels really good. So, and what I have to do is I can just select this, and I can just export this to my laser cutter, and we zoom in a little bit. We can see that this one still has all the numbers, so it makes it much easier to build this together actually, so you know which one is what surface and things like this. Okay, so the last thing, you select everything, you scale it in 3D Studio Max, or you probably also can scale it in AutoCAD or in Illustrator. I just go into export selected, and you just export as a DVW, and then you just use it as a next step for your laser cutting. Thanks for watching.